In this video, we'll be going over mixed division, and in mixed division, we'll cover synthetic division and long division. This is by Flo-Yan Wong in Ms. Gleason's class, 4th period. For long division, we'll go over a polynomial divided by a binomial with a remainder, a polynomial divided by a binomial without a remainder, a polynomial divided by a trinomial with a remainder, and a polynomial divided by a trinomial without a remainder. For synthetic division, we'll go over a polynomial divided by a binomial with a remainder, and a polynomial divided by a binomial without a remainder. Let's start. Here we can start off with long division with an equation that will result in a no remainder, and it's a polynomial divided by a binomial. Our first step is to ask ourselves how many times does x go into x cubed, which is x squared. Next, we multiply x squared by both of the dividends given to us, and we get x cubed minus 2x squared. Next, we subtract x cubed minus 2x squared from x cubed minus 3x squared, and in order for us to do that, we must change the signs, so that's what I did. With this, our result is negative x squared, and then after you subtract, you bring down negative 4x. After this step, you ask yourself how many times does x go into negative x squared. After placing a negative x at the top, multiply negative x to your dividends, and subtract negative x squared minus 2x from negative x squared minus 4x. You multiply negative 6 times x and times negative 2, and you should get negative 6x plus 12 and subtract. Both of the numbers should cancel out and your answer should be x squared minus x minus 6. So in this long division equation, it's a polynomial divided by a binomial, and it will result with a remainder. So I already started with x cubed divided by x, and I got x squared. I multiplied that by the dividend and got x cubed minus 4x squared, and after this we subtract. Okay. After I subtracted the two, I got 4x squared, and I brought down the negative 7x. Next, I divide 4x squared by x and get 4x. After I multiply 4x to the dividend, I get 4x squared minus 16x, and I subtract that from 4x squared minus 7x, 9x. And I bring down the negative 6 and divide 9x by x. Next, I multiply 9 by the dividend and get 9x minus 36 and subtract. As a result, I got a remainder of 30, and my answer will be x squared plus 4x plus 9 plus 30 over x minus 4. For our next problem, we will be solving with long division. We have a polynomial divided by a trinomial, and the result will be with a remainder. Next, you divide 4x cubed by x squared and get 4x. And after that, you multiply 4x times the dividend to get 4x cubed plus 12x squared minus 8x, and subtract. When you subtract the two, you should get negative 25x squared plus 10x and bring down negative 7. Next, you divide negative 25x squared by x squared and get negative 25. After that, you multiply negative 25 by your dividend to get negative 25x squared minus 75x plus 50, and you subtract. After subtracting, your remainder should be 85x minus 57, and your answer will be 4x minus 25, with a remainder of 85x minus 57 over x squared plus 3x minus 2. In this polynomial divided by a trinomial, the result will be without a remainder, and we're going to solve it using long division. So after starting off with our first step, which is dividing x cubed by x squared, we get x, and we multiply x by the dividend to get x cubed plus x squared minus 6x, and we subtract that to get 2x squared plus 2x and bring down the negative 12. Next, you divide 2x squared by x squared and get 2. Then multiply 2 to the dividend to get 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. After subtracting, everything should cancel out and you should have no remainder, and your answer is x plus 2. Now let's finally move on to synthetic division. In this equation, we'll be dividing a polynomial by a binomial, and the result will be without a remainder. So the first thing you want to do is Take the thing you're dividing by and set it equal to 0 in order to get x. Next, list off all the coefficients in the equation. After this, you start your process by bringing down the 1, multiplying by the 3, carrying it to the 10, and adding. You continue to do this throughout the entire problem until you get to the very end. So 3 times negative 7 would equal negative 21. Add that to 33, you should get 12. 3 times 12 equals 36. 36 plus negative 36 should equal 0. Your final answer. For this polynomial divided by binomial equation, we will result with a remainder. For this equation, I've already set the thing we're dividing by to 0 to calculate x. After figuring out x, I put all of the coefficients in line at the top. After bringing down 1, I multiply 1 by negative 2 to get negative 2 and add it to negative 4. To get negative 6 and multiply that by negative 2 to get 12 and add that to 2 to get 14, and then multiply 14 by negative 2 to get negative 28 and add it to negative 3 to get 31. So our answer will be x squared minus 6x plus 14 with a remainder of 31 over x plus 2 because we were left with 31. Okay, that is all for today, and thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. And yep, that's all for mixed division. Good luck. Bye.
DJ Khaled! Hey! Yeah!